So, welcome today to the ACEC Colorado 2027 Engineering Excellence Awards How to Enter workshop. We're celebrating our 60th year of holding our Engineering Excellence Awards. We have been digging into our history books because the council is also celebrating its 70th year starting this summer. And so we realized that we had given out one award in 1967. So this is officially in 1967, one award. So this is officially our 60th anniversary of Engineering Excellence Awards. So with that, we are kind of excited to celebrate that diamond anniversary. So again, I'm Heidi Gordon, the Executive Director here at ACEC Colorado, and we are excited to have all of you join us, and we'll go ahead and get started. So first off, do always want to acknowledge our corporate sponsors who you see on the screen. Without them, programs like this are not possible. Initial IT, CBiz, Ken's Print and Graphics are our diamond level sponsors, and they're very important to helping our program. They do a lot for us, as does USI, Morrissey Goodell, Envision IT, Relational Advisors, Rev Zero, Bohan Houston, and then we'll talk about this a little bit later. Our media sponsor for the Engineering Excellence Awards workshop, Colorado Public Works Journal, who does a partnership with us and does run all of our awards programs, as does Colorado Real Estate Journal. Colorado Public Works does do a very special program with us. We are offering one professional development hour for the workshop today. So you will get an email after this from Registered Continuing Education credits, and that will be sent to you as a PDH certificate that usually is transferable to some other things, even if you're not an engineer, and use the PDH system. So again, look for that email after this program. Again, we want to thank that the workshop is being sponsored today with support from Colorado Public Works Journal. They do a supplement with the Colorado Engineering Excellence Awards, as well as print it within their winter publication. They also do a pull-out segment. You can advertise in that segment in the magazine, as well as anyone who enters the awards to get a feature with photo and some other information about each project, and it's a really nice handout. So look for information at that after you enter. So let's get to the main schedule today. So for our agenda, we will have a why enter the project, return on investment, which I'll be joined with Shayna Lindemann from Muller Engineering Company, who's also on screen, to talk about that. How to enter a project for the EAs, a little bit about Colorado, as well as we'll touch a little bit on the national. If you win a Grand Concept or a Grand Award from us, you're eligible for the national program. And then from data to story, best practices for impactful projects. And then again, we'll go into those questions. So this is just kind of an overview. If you aren't familiar with the Engineering Excellence Awards, we are involved starting from a different place. We do run this program annually to recognize consulting engineering firms and land surveying firms, both member and non-member, to demonstrate the exceptional degree of innovation and lots of things within the firm can be considered innovative. The Colorado program does not recognize categories or sizes, so we don't get into that like the national program does or some other membership organizations or states in the ACEC Federation may have, or that you may be familiar with. So you are kind of competing against the merits of your own program when we do the judging, and we'll get into the judging criteria a little bit later. We do fully align with the guidelines though in other ways that ACEC National uses. So the ACEC National guidelines are out and linked on our web page, which we'll have a link to that we will send you all this information after today's workshop. But the call for entries and guidelines are out. I will say that there were not really any changes that will affect the Colorado program this year. The main change that ACEC National made for this year was regarding category. So that's really not a big impact for anything that you would be doing or having to change for this year. So why enter? There's a lot of benefits for entering the Engineering Excellence Awards program. You get a custom award for display with the option to purchase additional ones for your client or clients. Targeted social media promotion that we do on behalf of you. We also can give you that artwork, full use of our creative content that we have made, and you're welcome to use our logo. The Engineering Excellence Awards logo is downloadable with our logo and all of that. We will have the 60th anniversary one available to you as well. The local industry media coverage. Again, we have inserts in the Colorado Public Works Journal. Usually that runs in December, as does the Colorado Real Estate Journal, runs in December to January, both of those. And then there's the feature, as I said, in Colorado Public Works Journal as a pullout. That is really nice because we get a lot of extra copies of those. So those are, complimentary and available for your use. You get a professionally produced about 2-minute, 1/2 to 2-minute video. You're able to, download that, embed it into your own website, use it however you want. That is yours to take and use however you like. Then there's also the recruitment and retention advantage. A lot of our firms have told us how they have used that to strengthen employee engagement, etc. I know Shannon's going to get into a lot of these other things about how her firm has used that. Next, we go into the Colorado award descriptions. One main change, if you have entered our awards in the past, that I will point out to you is, in the past, we had the Grand Conceptor, and then we had the Excellence Award was our next highest award. We are changing the name of that this year to the Grand Award. That is to align with ACEC National's award names. So this year, you will be getting a Grand Conceptor, then the next award would be the Grand Award, then the Honor and Merits. And we just did that just so that we can fully align with the national program. Also, for some years, it's bothered me a little bit that it was a little redundant to call them the Engineering Excellence Award, Excellence Award. And so I think that this is a better alignment. My focus group of one, Shayna, concurred. And so we just decided let's go ahead and make the change. So we will still have our Outstanding Graphic Award. And then we added last year the Colorado People's Choice Award. We had a very high number of votes last year. Was a really good way to social media engagement and to engage the public. And so we're going to continue that this year. And now I'm going to turn things over to Shayna Lundeman from Moeller Engineering Company, one of our annually submitting firms, and let her talk about return on investment. So you can go ahead and take over the screen sharing, Shayna.
Okay, I'm clicking all the things. Give me just a second. There we go. Okay. Someone give me a thumbs up that it's on the screen.
Yeah, we're seeing it on this screen, but.
Oh, I'm getting lots of thumbs up. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for the moral support. Okay. So we have been submitting since 2017 pretty actively, but like Heidi said, we've also been involved in the program for longer than that, dating back to the late 90s. Mueller started receiving some awards. But it wasn't until some leadership changes and whatnot at Mueller that they really started to see and recognize the active value of why we submit. Go ahead, Heidi.
I think your screen isn't not sharing anymore.
Did it stop
Um,
sharing?
yes, I think we have to do that again, I'm sorry.
All good. Back.
Okay, looks like it, and,
Okay. Um,
okay, we're good.
so why has Mueller been consistently submitting one to two, often two projects every single year to the ACEC awards? And that's because we find so much value in them. And instead of doing a presentation like we've done in the past where I show you all of our great projects, I decided to do a top 10 list of all the great things that we find snowball out of this opportunity of submitting awards. So I have 10 great reasons for everyone to consider submitting projects. So number 10, the award photos that we take and the project boards that we create are wonderful office decor, as are the trophies. So in our lobby, when you walk into Mueller, this is what people get to look at while they're waiting to see someone interview or, any sort of meeting. And so this nine up of images are our nine most recent submittals. These are all of our trophies. They kind of go around the corner, which you can't see. In addition, we have full walls around the office of all our project boards that we submitted over time, and we try to put those near where the teams sit so they're able to be reminded of all their great work while they're working every day. So we love that our office is full of all these award photos. Number nine, the clients love these gifts. You did something for them. You submitted an award, you made it easy, and they get a trophy and sometimes other things that they get to place out in their office. And so all of our public clients, public sector clients, are always so thrilled that we take the time to submit these on their behalf. Makes our clients very happy. Number eight, this is an interesting one. I didn't have a way to depict this, but we hear from project managers and managers around the office that when they're interviewing potential hires, they almost always comment on all the great award-winning projects that they were able to read about. And so we're so proud to be able to share those stories and that they are interested enough in them that they bring them up in interviews without being prompted. So we love that benefit. Number seven, the amazing project photography that we go out and take to submit these awards and all the content it creates, in this case, social media content, it just snowballs. We're able to just post and post and post and post because of all these beautiful photos. This photo was taken because the project manager on the project went and rode his motorcycle through the project to take photos, and he mounted his camera on the front and got a ton of beautiful photos. It was a gorgeous day, and now we have all these amazing photos of a freshly done project. So we love that we get all these pictures at the end. And no, we don't do that for every project. So again, we're then able to take those beautiful projects and use them for social media content. This particular photo, the principal on the project pulled off on the side of the road and took this photo because he was able to get a view of the escape ramp from up above and really liked that view. And then here's our project manager being interviewed by ACC for the video that they use to talk about the project at the luncheon, on social media, on the YouTube channel, as you can see. And so in partnership with ACC, we get great social media content thanks to all the work that they do as well. In addition to our submittal, all the great work ACC does to help advertise all the projects, which we are very appreciative of. This is one example, there will be some more. Okay, number 6, great website content. We've seen this photo before. This is where that photo then becomes a award-winning banner on our project portfolio page. And then when you go onto the project page itself for that project, we have an amazing long description for this project because we had to write so much. Why not make our website content even better because of this great write-up? We get to list an award here. We get to post a press release in partnership with ACEC, all the great news coverage that we get. We're able to show that in our newsroom. So this is our version of it, but we also would do like in the news when others share something, which I'll show later. Number 5, opportunities to celebrate and recognize internally. So we are a very kudos giving, high-fiving company. We love supporting one another. And this is the slide that that our company president, Greg Clark, put together for an employee meeting to celebrate the award team, who one completed this amazing project, but two submitted the awesome award. And so this is what he put together all on his own to show all the great work that the team had done. Another internal opportunity, we have a employee intranet, and so this is where we're able to celebrate them on the intranet. What you can't see below is that people can like and comment and cheer on the team. Internal emails sharing that the project was submitted. We always link to it so people can go read about it. This is just, again, I'm showing you guys so many of the same pictures, and it's just all the ways we're able to continue using them. Number 4, this is employee recognition related, but also celebration related. That great project team that works on the project gets to fill a table at the luncheon. We don't just send people to luncheons. It's always the team who did it. And so who you see here all spent literally hundreds of hours on that particular project that year. And number 3, we get to celebrate with our clients. So submitting the award creates so many great touch points with our clients, and one of them is being able to host them at our table at the awards luncheon. So we have 2 clients sitting at our table this particular day, and they have big smiles on their face and they're happy to be there, and that creates a great touch point, reminds them that they like Mueller. Also along the way though, we create purposely more touch points. Luckily, Heidi gives a few where they have to complete forms, so you need to reach out to them and make sure that they're involved in the project to begin with. But we also always ask for a quote to submit with the project. We always ask them to review the award submittal. We always package up and give them like a really nice packaged product of the submittal at the end. So we really try to make sure that we're communicating with them throughout the award as another way to stay in touch. Number 2, we love that we can talk about the community improvement in a storytelling manner. And that's one of the best things about this award. And one of the great ways that that aside from writing the award that we are benefited with this award submittal is that the Colorado Public Works magazine, which Heidi mentioned has a great feature on the awards, they do these beautiful layouts of all the projects in their magazine, and we submit an ad every year, which ours is here on the left, and then they place it within, you know, the feature of each of the projects. And so we chose to do an ad with ours so that we could talk a little bit about who Mueller is. And so that's another wonderful benefit. So there's 2 here, that in community improvement, storytelling, but the ways to do it. And one of them is that CPW feature. And then last but not least, number 1, the awards are just a great opportunity to celebrate engineering. And great engineering deserves to be celebrated. And so we really enjoy being a member of ACC, being an active member who submits awards and likes to compete and likes to be at the luncheon. As you can see, there's a lot of genuine smiles in these pictures, and it's because they're so proud to be there and really enjoy the work they do. And so great engineering deserves to be celebrated. And honestly, we'd love to see as many great engineering projects submitted as possible so we all can sit in a room smiling and having fun together. How's that, Heidi?
That is great. turn my video back on so you can see me. Thank you so much, Shayna, that is great. We'll go ahead and, if you don't have any other slides, I'll go ahead and start my slides back up. Get back to where I was.
I went with photo storytelling instead of word
I
storytelling.
thought that great job. Great. I didn't want to take over the slides if you were not done.
No, please.
Yes. And if you have anything to add while I am talking, please feel free to interject. Righty, let's see here. And okay, so I think I'm back. This is always a game to play here. The Zoom sharing. All right, there we go. Okay, so let's.
Yeah, we're seeing the presenter again, there again.
No,
Toggle back and forth.
I don't know. I don't mind if you guys see the presenter view. Doesn't matter to me. Does not matter at all to me if you guys don't care.
We're gonna share these slides after the fact anyway, so.
It doesn't matter at all to me. Like, know why it's full screen isn't showing, but is it showing into that now? I don't know why it's showing that version, but that's okay. We'll just go with that. So in any case, so next we have the How to Enter Project for the Engineering Excellence Awards. And who can enter? So this is again open to any consulting engineering or land surveying firm, member, non-member. And I don't know why is it not following me? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Let's see here.
It's confused about which is screen one and which is screen two.
Now it's showing who can enter. I think it was just a delay.
Yeah.
Figure. Okay. All right. So let's see if that works. Is that good? Okay. So again, it's open to any consulting engineering or land surveying firm. Member or non-member firms are eligible. There is a price differential between those two. So I think everyone on the call is a member firm. You do get a discount. And then on top of your member discount, because you're attending today's workshop live, if anyone's listening to the recording, unfortunately, that does not count to get the discount code. You'll get an additional discount code for each project that you enter. So remember, you can enter it, you enter 2, 3, whatever, you get that for every one. Just enter it because you have to enter those separately. So just enter it multiple times. It's not good for just one use. And then the projects that enter the Grand Conceptor and the Grand Awards, formerly known as the Excellence Awards, for Colorado, are eligible but not required to go on to the national awards. And that is a separate entry fee. Those have kind of a quick turnaround time. We do use the same portal as ACEC National. We have a Colorado version of that. Shayna has done this a number of times, unlike me, but apparently you do have to re-enter, but it is in the same format, but you do have to re-enter some of the data. It's supposed to help facilitate the process by using the same portal, and we do try to follow nationals guidelines. Like you have, I think 6 pages, we'll get into this a little bit later, for your narrative for Colorado, 6 pages for national. We used to have different requirements for some of these things, and we've tried to align them very closely so that you don't have to recreate the wheel. If anything, we don't require like a media list. National requires a media list of things of that nature. So there are only a few things that you'll have to come up with that you may not have to do with hours. We also this year aligned the project completion, substantial completion dates. In the past, ours was like cut off a little earlier than nationals. And we kind of evaluated that of, okay, as long as the project completion date is done by the time of our awards, which it would be given out, we felt like that was fair. That's what California does, which also has an early awards program like us. And it would be definitely done by the time you enter the national awards, so we decided to go ahead and follow their completion date. If for some reason that's going to create a gap of a few months between this year and last year's eligibility dates, and those of you who it affects will know what I'm talking about, please just contact me and let me know that, and we will figure something out. We can talk to national and figure something out. So if you are affected by those few months that we're changing, just let me know that. If your firm has won an award from another state for the same project, you would not qualify to go on to the national awards if you won it from Colorado. That probably would not be the case because you have to have completed the project by about 50% of your Colorado staff would have had to complete the project. You're like, well, what if 50% of my team in Texas completed and 50% here? I guess technically then you could enter in both of our states, but only one of them would be eligible to have gone on to the national. Since we're the earlier of the awards of all of the states, we're a little even earlier than California. We're usually the first one people enter the projects with, so we don't usually have this issue. Now, where it does become kind of an issue sometimes is if there's a project, say for instance, the Sphere was one. We have had Sphere won an award from another firm in New York for the structural, and then it won an award from our mechanical electrical firm here in Colorado. It was eligible to go on to national because those are two separate categories and two separate firms. National does encourage joint award submissions when multiple firms work on the same project. I know that gets a little tricky because it is, theirs is determined by category. So if you do want to collaborate like that, let me know and I can talk to national with you and we can figure that out when you're going on to the national awards, if that's a selection. So it's very complicated in those ways. Any EEA project registration, entry fees have to be paid for each project separately. So unfortunately, we can't just register multiple projects on one invoice. You do have to put in that code and register and pay for each project for your firm separately. Make sure you are logged in as your member firm. Everyone in your firm, including you, if you are the marketing person, if you are the engineer, whoever you are in the firm, you will have your own registration abilities. If for some reason you were not able to register for this workshop yourself and somebody else registered on your behalf, please let me know. My email or contact information is at the end of this slideshow. We will set up your profile for you, but everyone in your firm is considered a member, not just the engineers in your firm, because we are a trade association. And so we have business practice resources for everyone in the firm because we're about the business running the business. It's not a technical association. So that being said, make sure that you just are using your member login to get the member pricing, and then you put in your discount code. Right now, there is going to be early bird, so to speak, pricing. So the luxury you have is registering after the early bird, so you have longer to decide if you're going to want to enter, so you don't lose that money, because the entry fee is non-refundable. So if you decide, I'm not sure if I want to enter, you have up until whenever the deadline is, and you still will get the early bird pricing because you have this discount. It's not stackable, so you can't get the today's discount code for attending on top of your early bird registration. And so with that, let's see here, the EEA project eligibility Again, the project can be anywhere in the world. It just has to be completed by 50% within your Colorado office for the Colorado EEA project. If you need help contacting any of the other membership organizations in any of the other states, because you have offices somewhere else and you need information on their EEA programs, please let me know. A lot of the other states run within the same year that the awards are given. So the 2027 program is going to start in 2027. And so you will probably not have to worry about it. Ours is a little different. We give it out for a year ahead. So we actually give the 2027 one out in November so that you can enter ACEC Nationals for the spring of 2027. So just let me know and we'll help you with contacting the other states that you might be interested in entering. Again, this year's eligibility dates, we're matching nationals, and moving forward, we'll always be matching nationals. It's gonna be between November 1st of 2024 through October 31st of 2026. And if your firm is affected by this change because of that like 3-month differential, when we used to do a September 15th cutoff, that would be where I'm talking about. It would have been September 15th of 2024 till November 1st of 2024. If somehow your firm had a substantial completion and you want to enter that project still, let me know and I will figure out how to get that entered still for you with national. In case, or with us, you can still enter, but with national, for instance, you want a grand conceptor or grand, we would have to figure out how that could go on, and I will work that out with national, get an exception. Substantially completed and ready for use built projects. Again, that's the deadline there. Public disclosed for research and survey mapping projects. Those are the dates. The biggest thing though is that you have to get a client signature in order to enter. So they have to sign off. And I would recommend taking advantage of that drawn out time frame you have because of this discount code you're going to get for attending live today. Make sure you get your client signature because that has created a number of problems for firms over the years where they thought they'd get the client signature and then came down to it, the client would sign off for privacy or whatever issues, federal government wasn't allowed, whatever it could be. So maybe hold off, you can get all your information all together on your end, ready for submittal. I will even give you, I can turn off what you need, the back end of the portal, so you're all ready to go. But make sure you get that client letter because you don't get a refund back. And the client letter is really important. You can submit everything if you're like, it's gonna be okay, Heidi, I wanna submit everything and fine. And as long as we have the client letter by the time it goes to the judges, it's just that if it goes to the judges and they don't have a client letter, then it has to be disqualified. So that's kind of our rule. So we've had a lot of problems with that sometimes, recently, especially with the federal government stuff. Colorado EEA submittal portal. Project registrations will receive a confirmation and link to complete entry through the ACEC Colorado portal. Our portal again reflects pretty much the same things as the Nationals portal. We have just a few things that aren't required of Nationals. There's character limitations. These again match Nationals, project name characters. You just have to complete everything. It won't let you go on if you don't complete everything. Again, the entry has to be signed by your principal as well as the senior executive with the client. And of course, electronic signatures are accepted and encouraged. You can download the PDF and then upload it. This sometimes runs into some issues with this particular portal. I will help you however you need. I have uploaded this. I can get into the back end and jerry rig it. I can get into my Adobe Creative and work some magic and get it up there. So don't worry about that. Don't let that hang you up. And I will answer the phone at midnight or close to midnight or whatever when it is deadline. And you can ask some of our members. So don't worry about that at all. I will give you my cell phone. My number is always on my signature, you can contact me. I answer the phone all hours of the night, I really do. Especially when it comes down to deadline time. So this is, a little, sometimes it can get, some glitches, I'm just gonna say. And, any of you who have submitted before know that weird things happen that are unexplainable, and then I have to contact the company and they fix it. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. So if you run into an issue, contact me, because you're probably not the only person experiencing it. And it's probably not you, it's probably the portal. And this is the portal National uses again, so I have a lot of control over it. Project entry requirements. Okay, so this is the kind of meat of probably why you're here. Everything for the project entry and pay fee is by August 7th. Now, if you wanted to hold off until the 14th, you can wait till the 14th and pay for everything and enter and submit all your materials on the 14th as well. If you were doing what I said about the client letter, making sure you had the client letter, I'll still take it all on the 14th. So if you're like, Heidi, I held it all back. So really, that project entry and fee deadline is the 14th. I would just encourage you to go ahead and do one so that you can get all the materials. But if you were like, Heidi, you downloaded all of what's required and you downloaded a dummy letter with nothing filled out so that you could send it to your client, I can do that for you. You could submit the payment and everything on the 14th. But for purposes of a normal entry, we do say the 7th, and then that gives you a week to get everything else in. And then this is kind of what's required. You've got a project entry form that is going to be on the portal. And keep in mind that the portal is editable at all times. So you'll have a link, only one person with one login. You'll have to use that user's email and password that you've created. So if you try to log on to whoever submitted the entry, that's who's going to be sent the link to the portal, and that's going to be the email that carries through. So that email is what's going to be registered. So if you want it to be somebody else's email, make sure that that person is the one who is registering the project, because that's what's going to be in our system. I don't have a lot of control over that. Now you can log in with that person's email and password. It's just, that's going to be what's on there. We do have some confusion sometimes about that. You can continue to edit that until the very end. And even if you submit it and you're like, hey, look, I had some issues. We've had this happen before with, say, the photograph release form, the photo release form. My photographer wanted me to make some changes or something. You can just send something, email it to me or whatever. I can take a new one and I can swap it out on the back end. So, or you're like, hey, I want to replace some of those photos. I can swap them out on the back end, even if you've closed it on. But if you need to do that, you have access until when you hit finalize. So that's kind of good news there. The client owner letter, again, is a one-page PDF format. It needs to be addressed to American Council of Engineering Companies. Why I say that instead of American Council of Engineering Companies of Colorado, which is our legal name, versus national, is if it's addressed to American Council of Engineering Companies, then you don't have to have them redo it if you go on to national. That's my little trick here for you, time saver. And then you have them describe the relationship and have them sign it. And then acknowledge how the contributions and confirm the project is ready for use by those dates. So just make sure they say by this date if it's not ready. So executive summary, again, it's a maximum, 1 page. It's a 1-page summary. This is just going to be a quick overview. We use these summaries for a lot of things. Marketing wise, otherwise, like I'm going to say even for AI, I might run those through to create some little paragraphs that we might be using on our website and such to just reduce the size of them this year and shrink them down. So this will just be kept to 1 page. But this is where you can get into things, which I like to do, 6 pages, which would be more fun to write. As a public relations person myself. And this again matches national guidelines. And so this is a single space text. This is what the judges will read. They will read all of this. They won't just read the executive summary. And that is the entrance firm, the entrance role, the role of other consultants, your contributions, and budget information. Reminder here, you can have 2 firms go in on a project together. If it were, you know, an I-70 project and 2 of you worked on the project, because we don't recognize categories. It's really simple here at the Colorado level, but again, I will help you if you did it jointly. Go on to the national program if you win a big award. We've done that a number of times. So think about doing that if it was, say, a construction management project and, you know, civil design. We can do that as a joint project. So put both your logos on the board. We have some up here on the wall in the room, which I can probably turn the camera and show here in a moment. But it's often done. Do you need budget information? I think National has clarified that in the questionnaire. That used to be a bigger question than it was, or has been a bigger question than it is now, because we've clarified how that is asked. But it is about the portion that you are responsible for of the budget. So if you know you have questions about that, though, of course, contact me. I do still ask you to include the entry category, because I like to include your entry category on your award. So that's the only reason. We don't judge by category, but it is included on your award. So it's just nice to say if it's a transportation, or if it's mechanical, electrical, or structural. And then also that saves you the issue with when you go on to national, you're gonna need to know which category it is. So now getting into the photographic digital display. This is a change made last year by us and 2 years ago by National. Up on your screen, you'll see what that looks like. We have TV screens at our Engineering Excellence Awards Luncheon, as National does at their red carpet event in the spring and throughout the convention that corresponds with that in Washington, D.C. They use TV screens as well. But really, we just ask you to do a digital display file with all the information that is listed on the screen. And we then have those up so that they're rotating throughout the reception that is kind of a pre-event to the luncheon. And then we can have those scrolling inside the room as well. And we have those up on our website, etc. And this also saves you from having to have those printed yourself on 30 by 30 foam core boards that we used to keep and use on display in our former offices. Now what we do is print those on a really nice heavy plastic that we, again, I will show the room that we have here in our new offices, that we have Ken's Print and Graphics print for us, and we have them kind of mounted as an artwork gallery display. The Grand Conceptor is on a much larger 3 foot by 3 foot display. And if you like what that looks like, which Mullers and other firms have, they will actually do these at a discounted rate for you for your firm, and you can get like a little shelf and put your award next to it or what have you. Ken's does those for the firms as well. And here's some examples of past 2 years award winners. We have a lot of examples of past outstanding project display award winners. So you're a good way to recognize your graphic designer of these awards. It is an extra award you get, not in lieu of getting one of the honor, merit, grand or grand conceptor awards. This would be a bonus award, just like the People's Choice is a bonus award during the Engineering Excellence Awards. All awards, whether it's the Outstanding Project Display Award, the People's Choice Award, or the Grand Conceptor Grand Honor and Merit Awards, are a surprise and only revealed the day of the luncheon. So that'll be November 6th, I believe. Is that correct this year? And we will not tell anyone who's won what until then. So your client and you will be surprised. PowerPoint presentation, we just have a little description. This is something that ACEC National requires. So we started asking for it last year as well. This is something that the judges have used starting last year that they really thought was of value. It helped give them kind of an additional oversight or insight rather of the project kind of after they've read it. You know, sometimes it's good to consume things in different ways. So you can, one title slide and then 6 slides to go through. We also have used this for some other purposes throughout the year, these PowerPoint presentations. But I think that, making it as simple as possible. You don't want to use transitions or anything like that. All the requirements are listed here. But it's just a quick PowerPoint with the different images you've already included and some other details. And then important dates, kind of coming up on these. So you have between today and August 7th, today is officially our open of Engineering Excellence Awards, to get your project name, and you can change the name between what you put in our registration information and what you put in the official portal. So we will match that up. We'll take care of that. Don't worry there. But you have all that time, and then the 14th is when all the content is due. As I said, we will take, up until the 14th, your money and all your content as well. So if you decide I'm going to submit everything on the same day, Heidi, on the 14th, I have had firms do that. You can do that if you collected your client's signature. If you have everything but the client's signature, I will just need the client's signature by the end of August, because on September 1st, I do turn everything over to the judges. So I do have that 2 extra weeks. You're taking a little bit of a risk there that the client could not sign in those 2 weeks. But if you're okay with that, we could do that. The video interviews will occur in September. We will send out a link to you that allows you to kind of a calendarly link that allows you to schedule that based on our videographers' availability. Those are done here at our offices in Denver, which is in the Tech Center, Denver Tech Center. We do them during business hours. I think we have some kind of late afternoon, early evening hours as well. We do not do them on the weekends, but we do them during the week. So that is something to keep in mind, that they are in person. We were doing them over Zoom for a few years after the pandemic. Quality wasn't the best. And these do go up on our website. They are used for a number of purposes with media and such. So we do try to make them look as best as possible. So we ask somebody comes in. It's not been a problem in the past. People's Choice Awards voting is in September. We try to help you with some social media ideas. We promote it out, but then a lot of the firms got competitive last year, create their own graphics and things like that. So it was kind of a fun competition. And then registration for the awards luncheon will open this summer, and then the deadline will be October 30th. Your registration for the entry does not include any tickets to the luncheon. The luncheon is a separate purchase. Again, there's membership pricing for tickets, for tables. Tables are slightly discounted, so if you want a whole table, I think usually we have tables of 8, but there you can do 10. And so if you want a table of 10, because sometimes you need extra, we do have those available. We try to give our Engineering Excellence Awards winners who buy tables towards the front too, so you have preference there. Some of our firms do need like 2 tables because they have 2 projects and they're separate teams, and that's not a problem. we do that. And you get recognition if you buy a table, you'll have your firm logo and name on a little table tent thing. So that's again on Friday, November 6th at the Hyatt Regency Denver Tech Center, which is at the end of the cul-de-sac next to our offices. So again, you'll be coming here for the interviews and you will be here, and we have a number of firms in our building, and so it's very easy for everybody here in our building as well. So that's kind of the gist of that. And then this is just again the ACEC National. Now we'll kind of transition into their deadline. So if you do win a Grand Conceptor or a Grand Award, you will be eligible but not required to submit your materials through the portal. For national is a separate fee. I'm not sure their fee this year. It usually is around, I want to say the past couple of years, it's been around like $1,200. Is that? I'm not sure how much it is this year, but we can take a look at that maybe in the questionnaire. It could have come up this year, but the deadline for that will be January 6th. So you do have between when our awards November 6th and January 6th, that kind of works out nicely, a 2-month period to get everything in. And because you'll have most of the materials, some of our firms, they redesign their board. Some of them take us like a look at redoing their narrative a little bit or what have you. But for the most part, it should be pretty easy other than getting the media list and a couple other pieces maybe. Their judging week is February 19th through the 21st. You do have to have someone available to be called during that week because they're not saying they will call you, but sometimes they have questions and they do an in-person interview, judging in their national offices. And so they do sometimes contact your firm. And we did just confirm that this year, the member price is $1,400 to enter the ACEC National Awards. $3,850 if you're a non-member, but I believe everyone calls them a member. So it's $1,400 if you are entering the national awards, if you are a grand or a Grand Conceptor Award with Colorado and eligible to go on. So thank you for that. And then the gala, which I will be there at the Grand Hyatt in Washington, D.C., is the evening of April 20th, 2027. This year we did have one of our firms, Martin, won an honor award, and so they got recognition on the main stage for our Grand Conceptor this past year for the 16th Street reconstruction. So we have a huge poster of it here in our room, and so that was kind of exciting because there was only about 24 projects that were picked nationally, and they had 240 entries. And so for Martin to have one entry, that's great. We've only had, I want to say, maybe 3 ACC National Grand Conceptors over our whole history. And so Denver Water by IMEG, formerly MKK, was kind of during their transition, they won that award, was one of those more recent Grand Conceptors during my time. So I think that's all of the changes from that. ACC Nationals, again, they have made some changes. They did add a clause, which will be on your form, that the senior executive has to sign. Their image guidelines, they must include a credit for the photos or graphics. We will have this on our photo release form. They are going to have it on their photo release form. The project description must include budget information and summary. Do not reference other awards the project has won. And then 8 slides PowerPoint plus accompany submission. Which again, I think it was 6-slide PowerPoint last time, so. And then the data to story, I think this is just, again, a little quick overview. You can think about the firms that have told me they've had most success are to get your team excited about submitting. So I would suggest having a kickoff meeting internally. Shayna went over more of this in detail when she was talking. Be your single point of contact, or find someone in your firm to be the single point of contact for the EEAs, and treat it like a proposal. Tips for writing, I would just say that write at the non-technical level, the 8th grade level, because a lot of our judges are not in our world, or in our world adjacent, in our AEC world adjacent. And so also some of the media, some of the ways we use this are to get the public excited. Legislators, we use these projects quite a bit with legislators. For advocacy reasons, especially with the Build America 250 bill getting ready to pass. These could be really good examples for things coming up. So that's just something to keep in mind. Keeping in mind the entrance contributions to the project, your uniqueness, the social, economic, and sustainability contributions, and how it fulfilled the client and owner needs. So making sure that that's addressed. The photography is always a question. I would say that using drone photos has probably become one of the #1 ways that, photos have gotten taken from a lot of their horizontal, especially projects. Starting the process early on. So even if you have, iPhone or Android photos that your project managers have taken along the way, those are often used. I like to say, and I used to work for the Architects Association, and our photos were much different, but it's really about your narrative in combination with the photographs. So don't worry if some of the photographs aren't like, oh, I like this photograph a little different. It's to show the progression and show really what the engineering part of it was. So even before and afters, or progress. But make sure you have the highest resolution you can get. But planning ahead for those photos is really important. And if you can do a final photo shoot, there are some good AE photographers that we can put you in touch with if you need those, if you don't have one already, to your firm. The judging process, we do pick judges from the private sector, university staff, members of the media. They do usually attend the gala and reveal who they were. Try not to disclose them publicly, so there's no petitioning of the judges or anything. If anyone has a conflict, we do have them disclose that, and they recuse themselves from the judging. Do not judge those particular projects if there's anything adjacent that they may have had a relationship with a project. So the judges are instructed to judge each project on its own merits for these particular criteria: uniqueness, future value, social, economic development, complexity, and fulfilling the client owner's needs. Not being scored against one another, but for its own merits. They do write judges' comments on occasion. You are welcome to ask me for any of the content for your project afterwards. So if you want any feedback, sometimes people use that if they're going on to national and they want to change anything about what they entered, or just for future years, or why they won and what they did. Interviews. We again have our professional videographer. We have provide them with some standard questions. There is not an interviewer voice. If you go and look at our YouTube channel of how those come out, you'll see that it's just your project manager or managers. You can send a couple of people talking about the project and showing pictures from your gallery of photos that you've submitted. And they're about 2 minutes long. We don't have necessarily the winners selected when these interviews are done. So they're not skewed to like who the winner is or anything. So they're all equal playing field when we do the videos. And we do keep them up in perpetuity. So they're up there forever on our YouTube channel. But we do give you the embed code so you can use them however you like. The luncheon again is we always get a keynote, do some inspirational speech, as well as have a whole awards giving out all the awards and everything, but we also do a little keynote, so it's kind of a nice setup for your clients. Last year, we had Steve Spangler, and we did a very interactive program for any of you there, and built a lot of things. If you go look at our YouTube channel of that was very fun. But again, it's gonna be the same location. These are what the awards look like. We do have a custom award for the Grand Conceptor, and then the Grand Award, which formally is the Excellence, and then the Honor and Merits, far right. Next is the People's Choice Award. Again, that voting will close in October 9th. It'll be open all of September. That's custom for that. And then the Outstanding Graphic Awards. It is a plaque that has your board mounted on it, and that's a really nice piece as well. We do a commemorative program with all the winners as a digital to download. We used to print those, we don't print those anymore. But you're welcome to print it and manipulate it however you like. Create those are the playlists. So these are just some of the collateral you'll get afterwards. The Public Works Journal that Shana mentioned, I mentioned before, advertising closes in that December 10th. You'll be able to get the advertising in that information and rate information, everything, if you do want to partake in that. This is our gallery that I keep referencing with all these display boards. So your display board will be up for the entire year, possibly longer if you won a Grand Conceptor or Grand Award. And if you are interested in purchasing one of the like acrylic display boards with the plastic pieces behind it or what have you, Ken's again can do that at a discounted rate for you as they're one of our sponsors. But we do have these up all year. We have tons and tons of meetings in here throughout the year with partners and what have you. So it's kind of a nice thing to have up. And then we have our dedicated page up, static page, our Engineering Excellence Awards page. It has all the links and resources, which we will send this out to you as well. But if you want to go to Awards, Engineering Excellence Awards, you can get to that. And I think that brings us to the end of the questions. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording so that if anyone wants to ask anything, you can go ahead and ask.